Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. Most of the time, I'm speaking to you about change. I'm speaking to you very little about politics. That's a game that I'm trying to get you to empty. I'd like to talk to you about the wonderful things of the future, things that do not happen right now, and explain to you how to get there. I think the last video I posted for you indicated what would Jesus say at a time like this. And I was telling you about how the future should be, how you should have the healthcare system. That's what I talked about before. And I said I'd talk about how you would just implement jobs so that it could meet the entire population. And I think it's a very simple matter because I'm not going to try to be a political one. I'm not going to explain it to you as a conservative, as a liberal. I'm not going to explain it to you as anything other than a blunt truth. Not for you to appreciate me for, but just to save time and be honest with you. You know, ladies and gentlemen, let me see if I can bring you up to this moment in time. We talk about a lie. A lie. Oh, the dangers of a lie. We've been hearing about lies all our lives, and we remember the time our parents taught us to lie by telling us to say, she's not here or he's not here, whatever it is, but just tell a little lie. That was one of the first things we learned how to do. We might have heard it before, but that's when we got a chance to practice it for ourselves. But that lie we have been told throughout history that there was a place called heaven and that everything was fine, going along fine. But apparently someone amongst the many had an idea that was different. That idea was that heaven could be better than heaven if heaven followed the one who was advocating heaven being better than heaven. And basically got a host of that heavenly host to believe that. And it was discovered, booted out. It was not acceptable in heaven. So they tell us that there was a place called the Garden of Eden, where some people had been established there. And somehow that lie got a chance to work its way around to Eden. And same thing happened. And we say, well, what could that lie have basically been? We talk about trees and we talk about snakes and apples, but ladies and gentlemen, we don't have to go back to that lie because the lie could have been any lie, as the lie that we heard about the election of 2020 in the United States of America. Now, everybody knows basically that that was a lie, especially the ones that started it. They knew it was a lie, but they passed it along as a lie. And many, almost a third of this population, believes that lie as truth. And they are willing to follow the one that advocates this lie to the extent of killing for it, picking up guns, walking out, threatening political representatives of other parties for not supporting the lie that they believe. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, the lie is something that has to be dealt with. You see, America itself has been upsided by a lie. That January 6th was the top of the mountain for that lie. It was ready. Everything was in play. The nation is ready to be taken over by a lie. And even today, almost a year after that, that lie is still banging and banging and banging. And you think that's funny? That's not funny. Let me tell you what's happening. The one who started that lie, who violated all the rules, all the rules that have been held to keep people in order, just assuming that people wouldn't, when they wanted to be a high office in a nation, they would at least represent the basic principles and character of the nation. But they brought the one with the worst character. He rose to the top. The one with the worst character. Well, one of the ones. He's not the worst character. Excuse me for saying it. He's one of the ones with the worst character. They brought him to the top. And he lied and did all of the things that people never expected him to do or wanted him to do. But guess what? They're questioning other people that he destroyed, putting them in jail that he destroyed. And he's still walking around free, destroying others. He's walking around free, still spreading that cancerous virus, walking around free. And guess what? They're talking about making him president again. I wonder what oath would they give him? What kind of oath would he follow? Oh, I know. The oath that he is God, that he is greater than Jesus. Oh, you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we're dealing with. This is exactly what we're dealing with. And many of you say that the things in America are just so bad because the laws don't work. I want to teach you something, ladies and gentlemen. I might not be able to teach you. Let me back that up. But let me tell you something. When something is wrong, you can't pass laws to fix it. And anybody who's serious about that, who cares about that, knows that. You don't pass a law, except that law be find out what causes it and eradicate that cause. That's how you fix it. When you hear say thou shalt not steal, not only is it talking to a person, they're saying no system should be devised that would allow a person what he would consider a reason for stealing or lying or cheating. No reason for hating. No reason for being a bigot. No reason for being a racist. This is how you eliminate the problems of the nation. You don't go passing some law, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not hate. That is not going to stop hating. No, baby. Evil causes hate. Eradicate the evil, and hate will be gone. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to you about real stuff. When I say jobs, I want you to recognize this, and I'm just going to say it bluntly because there's no other way it's going to work. There's no politician that got the answer. Man or woman, black or white, straight or gay. They all are selfish and biased, every last one of them. And that's just the way it is. It is that way. It is divinely that way. Because it is only one way that works, and that's God. See, I have a plan, perhaps. You got a plan. But for some strange reason, your plan represents you. My plan represents me. But God's plan represents God. And how do you know God's plan? Because God's plan works for everybody. It works for the whites. It works for the blacks. It works for the haters because they won't not hate any longer because they learn the truth, and the truth teaches them love. So when I say putting people to work, I'm saying reclaiming all that is God's stuff and not our stuff. You got a car. Your neighbor got a car. You say that's your car. Your neighbor say that's their car. Why? You know what makes those things your car. That's like God knows what makes the earth God's. You had nothing to do with to make it, the shaking or the forming of it. It's God. And what is it for? It's for that which uses it. Who and what can use it? That God has made to use it. Not to be exploited by the lie. By the lie that says, well, I'm not going to go all over the world. The evil that perpetrates itself across the world. But the same evil that's trying to manifest itself in America again, it never left. Slavery, the persecution and harm and killing and murder that this nation has engaged in, taken. It was the way of the world, and I'm not trying to put it down. It's the way of the world. That's what they do. That's what evil is about. That's why when you are born again, you see that. That's why when you were born again, you turn your back on that. That's why when you're born again, you start living for something that says every man, every woman, every human being on the face of the earth, God has prepared that you should never suffer a lack of food, clothing, shelter, or education. Unlimited and unrestricted. Health care from the womb to the tomb, and a job would give you your greatest joy. That allows you to engage in the process of creating all of the things that are created by the hands of man, thereby making you part on in all that exists, that you can access it at your need, want, or desire. And because of this system, you have peace, prosperity, freedom, joy of your life, and the fulfillment of your dreams. That's what I come to tell you about. You're not going to get that from no white people. You're not going to get that from no black people. You're not going to get no information from no church. You're not going to get that information for nothing but love. And that love comes from God. And it's open to every human being. And it is required that if you're born again, you know it because you're showing it. You're not going along compromising because you want to get along, because you're scared to die. No person that's born again is afraid to die because it's already dead. Whew. Well, I think I'll leave it there. Thank you so very much for listening. Good day.